Place is a wreck, guys. I'm sorry for the mess. Place is a wreck. Not talking to you, talking to important people. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. The last time you saw us, oh, I found the bit stuff. Fucking one of the torque bits were stuck all the way in the corner. I thought I lost it, but it's there. I gotta get the magnet for it. What's up, stuff?
What's going on?
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Quick updates. Fast forwarding, we probably should have covered it with a video, but we'll do some recording on the inside. Stavro did some basic little videos for us, 3D printing, but and we'll get to what we picked up too. But we're outside. We are putting the Rs3 back together. The reason why she was apart, for those of you guys that have been following us on Instagram and following us on Facebook, we took off the stock throttle body inlet, we took off the intake manifold and the lower pipe so we could design our own. I'll show you guys some pictures and video of what we've been up to, printing, making. We got a B5 cluster that we're working on for Haltech. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming, but primarily the reason why we took the components off the Rs3,
because it's broken.
because we wanted to see if we could develop better parts that could flow better, less PSI drop, and overall function a lot better, especially for the setup that we have, which is the big turbo. And Stavros flexing the Milwaukee. Today we picked up Milwaukee, set of Milwaukee drivers from our friends Sean and Wendy from Gear Wrench. They also gave us a little runner here by hand, which is really, really helpful. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Sean. I'll show you guys what we picked up in a small little kit. But anyway, guys, we put the factory stuff back on because we want to dyno test this. Get a baseline and then install our parts and see if there's any improvement, see if there's any corrections that need to be made, see if there's any changes. Of course, we want to put the parts on a flow bench. Here's the diverter valve. For those of you guys that follow us on Facebook, we would have had the car dynoed already on Friday, but I broke the diverter valve. So we were lucky enough. Wendy and Sean also had a spare diverter valve. Audi Temecula sending us a new one anyway. Should be here Monday or Tuesday, so we'll have a spare. Oh, and our AWE exhaust came in, the catback for the Rs3. So follow-up video for that in terms of a full review, driving around, and install. So we'll see how that thing turns out and how it sounds, especially on a big turbo car with a 3.5-inch downpipe. So I'm pretty excited to see how it sounds. Anyway, guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back. We're gonna have some fun. We got some really new stuff and cool stuff that we're working on. Really excited to show you guys. So racing is gonna kind of slow down for us this month because we're gonna be taking this car apart in terms of the intake parts and then throwing it back on and then dyno testing. So really this month we're gonna dedicate and really spend time on developing some of the theories and designs that we have, and then hopefully we can throw up on the dyno and show you guys what it makes. November we have the half-mile event coming up in no-fly zone in Bakersfield, so we're really excited. Since the car is still stock blocks, still stock trans, stock clutches, we want to go there, reset the half-mile record, and then hopefully after November, maybe do a nice small build on this motor, some aftermarket clutches, and see what kind of power we can make. Anyway, let's show you guys the 3D printing. Let's show you guys some of the designs. I'm going to let Stavro take over it from here, and you guys let us know what you think in the comments below.
Hey Malakes, it's Stav here at Malaka Motorsports. I want to start off this video by apologizing to you guys. What am I apologizing for, you guys ask? I'm sorry that you have to stare at this ugly 24 valve VR6 B5 behind me. I'm really sorry. You know, it's 24 valve, it's silver, it's Nardo, it's primer. I mean, what's the difference now? I apologize to you guys, and I want to give a little bit of a PSA, public service announcement. Unfortunately, no VR6 B5s were hurt in the making of this video because they don't run. I'll do a little video, all the joking aside. I don't know if you guys seen on some of our social media, we are now manufacturing and producing some parts. Now, this is a completely new thing for us, and one thing that we really liked to do for you guys is, you know, the whole, and I don't really see much of it going on, is produce a part, test it, and, you know, all the way up to the manufacturing part where we release the part and show you guys all the steps. Now this week we actually have the CNC 5-axis part in our hand, and we're going to be putting it on the car and doing a baseline one with the car the way it is right now, and then with the new part, and seeing how how much more power we can make with the car. There's nothing worse than a shiny part that doesn't make your car go faster, to be honest with you. That's how we feel about it. There's nothing worse than a part that people claim made power, but there's no dyno graph. It's a he said, she said. You know, it's 2018, and you know, video recording and showing proof of the parts is, you know, so easy, and we wanted to bring you guys along for the ride. So if you guys hear that noise in the background, that's our new 3D printer printing the cluster for the B5 with the race pack, and I'll show you guys that in a second. It's only like a quarter of the way through, but you know, we wanted to bring you guys along with the way, because again, you're learning as much as we're learning. You know, this is a very exciting time. Maybe you can't tell by my face and all that, but it's, man, we've had so much fun along this way. We've learned so much, from the 3D printing process to casting to machining to 5-axis to 3D prints. It's a lot of fun. So I wanted to show you guys some of the parts and the steps along the way, and then we'll go to the dyno and flow bench test. Here's the piece, the original OEM piece. It's quite restrictive, as you can see. I mean, it concaves. It has restrictions in the airway. It becomes about 2 1/4 in the center right here. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry for the terrible camera work. Amateur Dave here in Malaka Motorsports. And then this would be the first 3D print where we designed it and 3D printed. I mean, you can see it's a complete 3-inch, nothing obstructing in the airway, good flow. After we test fitted, we see a couple improvements that we made. So we made a little bit better angle here. It still clears all the factory air boxes, OEM air box, you know, the integrated engineering air box. And then here is the billet piece, Malaka Motorsports. You know, this is the piece that we'll be testing. Full 3-inch, no obstructions, billet, CNC 6061. So hopefully this makes some power. So as you can see, your OEM first prototype, second prototype, finished piece in 26 days. So you guys will see it on the car, dyno, flow bench, and then you guys see the race pack we have over here. So this, if you see the cluster here, so essentially what we're also making is, you see this mounted inside like a B5. You would see, like, if it was in the spot where the cluster is, you see all this dead space here. So what we did was we completely remodeled the factory cluster and made this race pack as an inlay. Here, I'll show it to you guys right. So here's an update on version 2 cluster. We did a little bit of, you know, enlarging on some areas so that it fits the curve better and goes in smoother and fits more like OEM. You know, we wanted to fit as close to OEM as possible while fitting the race pack. So we printed this one in yellow PLA for, you know, testing purpose, and then we'll do it in ABS. Pretty cool. I mean, you know, this process is getting better, and actually it looked like it's printed pretty smooth. Anyway guys, that's the update.
Today's gonna be a special day, so we're gonna give you a catch-up video so you can see what we've been working on for the past month or so. Stavro picked up some software. We ended up picking up a 3D printer, and then we actually started to maybe work on designs for the car. So today is going to be the day that we are testing some of the parts on the car, which is kind of a win-win, kind of win-lose for us. You know, having the big turbo set up on the car, guys, we were told the software is limited. So after we made such a huge increase in power with the IE intake, the carbon intake where we installed it, we saw gains of anywhere between 35 to 45 wheel horsepower plus, and a good jump in torque. Well, we're on the max, or pretty much on the leading edge when it comes to making power with this motor on the big turbo setup. So they're a bit afraid we don't want to hurt anything. So a lot of the new software that's running now, especially with the big turbo cars, are super limited. If God forbid the ECU sees a huge increase in flow, it limits the amount of power, boost, timing, whatever the case may be, that it gives it across the board. So we're gonna see today what our throttle body inlet and lower pipe design does if there is an increase on a big turbo car. And if it's not, we're gonna try to see if we can find a stage 2 car, or if not, hit up Hank at Audi Rs3 and see if he's got a stage 2 car there that has a little bit more of allowance when it comes to power, which is not all the way maxed out, since we're making a lot more power in the big turbo setup. So we're gonna see what goes on today. We're gonna visit a local shop that we've been to before. done some fab work for Stavros' car, my car. Guy's name is Dave, owns Murray's Performance Garage, and we're gonna have some fun. Anyway, I'm gonna run grab a quick car wash. The car's very dusty. I haven't driven in about a day or two. And then let's fast forward to the shop so we can show you guys what the hell's going on. What's up, guys? We're at the shop. We're here at Murray's Performance Garage. We're here to see if our ideas, our scrap parts are gonna make any difference in power. Like I explained on the drive over, the software is limited only because we are running the upper extreme levels on the turbo kit now. We had a huge jump in power, and I'll throw the dyno slip up when we install the air intake from Integrated Engineering. And because of that huge jump in wheel horsepower and wheel torque, they ended up putting safety limitations in the motor. So if that happens again, where there's another mod that boosts up the power, that allows it to make a lot more power than normal, than originally anticipated, we don't want to pop the motor. I'm still in the stock block, still on the stock clutches. So we want to maintain that till after November, because November is going to be the half-mile event where we want to go and reset our current record for 168.5 in the half. So anyway, we're here. We're getting a baseline dyno run now. We're going to see what she makes as is, and then we're going to throw our parts on and see what happens. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's see what happens. Wish us luck. If the car ends up not making a lot more horsepower than normal, then what we'll do is go find a stage 2 car that has a little bit more leg room, like I originally mentioned before, and then we'll see what goes on from there. Anyway, guys, all right, guys, that was our first dyno run. On this dyno, she made 644 wheel horsepower, a little over 470, 480 wheel torque. That's Dave, by the way. So we're gonna throw our part on now, let it cool down, see what the differences are. We'll do our base run with the new part, and then our secondary run for consistency. We'll see what's going on. Got Stavro wrenching in the back. We're gonna take off the intake manifold because it's gonna make it easier to remove the throttle body elbow. We're gonna have to remove the intake as well. We should get down to business hopefully very shortly. So let's keep going, guys. We removed the OEM throttle body inlet. We installed our test prototype. And we're also doing the lower, the bottom. We just have a 2-piece welded for now, just a test. Alright, guys, so we have our MMS throttle body inlet, lower pipe installed. We threw the intake back on. We are ready for another base run, and then we'll do a secondary run so the car heats up a little bit. It's a little bit more consistent. As you can see, all we have is our 2 Home Depot, I think they're like 500 CFM or 400 CFM little blowers that we bought to keep the intercooler and then the trans cooler and the oil cooler cool while we're at the track. But we're using it to simulate some freeway air, even though it probably doesn't, but this is the best we got. So we're gonna run it, we're gonna see what it does. I believe we made a little over 640 wheel on this dyno and a little over 478, 480 wheel torque. We'll get those graphs for you, we'll do a comparison, and this is with no software change. This is just with our inlet, and we'll see what it does. Either we make less power or we make more power. We'll see what happens. was our first run and second run with our new throttle body inlet and lower pipe.
666.
It made a little bit more.
Huh? 668?
668.
Oh, what did we make before? 640.
640.
All right. So this is good news. Number one, we're using a different dyno than we normally do. Obviously, we're not at Rs Motorsports. We're at Murray's Performance Garage, who graciously let us use their dyno. So our first run, hey Dave, what was our first run?
644.
Hold on, he's gonna pull it up now just so we have the exact numbers. And we'll put a screenshot of this up, guys. We'll put a screenshot of this up on the screen so you can see the two dynos. It's got a whole bunch of numbers.
Stop snapping. 644.
So we made 644.8, and what does it say for wheel torque?
474.
So 474. So 644 and 474. And then what's our new numbers now, Dave? This is on the same file. Nothing's been changed other than our inlet and lowering pipe. Both. Car was cooled down as stock. Then we ran once, ditched that number, ran second, and then that's how we got 644. Same thing we just did now. Did one run, then did the second.
668.
668, and how much wheel torque?
484.
484. So the wheel torque spiked up a little bit. Wheel horsepower, we jumped up almost over 20, right?
Yeah, 24.
Actually climbed torque up here.
500? 504. Okay. All right, so we'll put up the graphs, but even with the limitations on the stock ECU, so we don't bump in power, we did bump slightly. A little over 20 wheel horsepower and a little over what, 10 or 15 wheel torque? So we'll let custom code know, but this is good news, guys. Very, very good news. It held pressure. It did really well. The factory engine cover works. Everything bolts up in like stock, and we're really, really happy, guys. Really, really proud of it. But we still have more revisions to go. This is not going to be the final piece. We still have a lot of work to do, but this is a step in the right direction. So we're really, really excited, guys. We thank you guys for being a part of it. We thank Dave at Murray's Performance Garage for letting us use the dyno that we have to pay him for in a little bit. But we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to do some more testing. We got a lot more parts that we're working on. We are working on an intake manifold and various other bits and pieces. Stay tuned, guys, as we get into this manufacturing/design journey, and we have fun. And the man of the hour is going to be that man back there. He spent hours, countless hours, days designing this stuff on SolidWorks, working with the 3D printer, and he's happy as hell. So this is good. This is good. We got some dyno numbers other than Hank's shop, so this is good. Anyway, if you guys like what you watch, if you guys like what you see, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let us know, let YouTube know that you guys like the content that we're putting out, and we really appreciate the support. Anyway, guys, I'm George. That's Stav in the background. That's Dave. This is the Silver Pig, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Shit again.
No, it's because I just want out.